Hello everyone, this is Cobalt. This analysis is going to focus on Falco and discussing his competitive viability in Smash Ultimate. Falco has been a household name since his introduction to the Super Smash Bros. Franchise in Melee back in 2001. He's one of the most entertaining and hype characters to watch in Melee, but has slowly been making his way downhill on the tier list since then. Well, slowly in Brawl, and then subsequently falling down the stairs and through the wall at the bottom of the stairs in Smash 4, but lower down the tier list nonetheless. So let's see if Ultimate is able to capture some of the glory that he's lost in subsequent Smash titles over the years. So, what actually makes Falco so entertaining? What makes him so enjoyable to watch and to root for in Melee? I think it's pretty self-explanatory. He's explosive, combo-heavy, and has some of the most interesting conversion options in the game. His moveset has been picked apart detail by detail and analyzed to make him an efficient stock-taking machine. When incorporated with advanced techniques that are utilized in Melee, such as wave dashing and jump canceling, his toolkit provides him with a slew of combo potential. His Dare, Reflector, and excellent pressure options with lasers are some of the most notable pieces of his moveset. His pillar combos from his Shine to Dare are infamous and have been a staple of his gameplay since the early 2000s, with players like Bomb Soldier, DeShizWiz, and PC Chris displaying huge success with him in Melee's early days. He's only gotten better through the years at the hands of Mango, whose iconic aggressive playstyle has made Falco what he is currently. Pretty good in Melee, right? S tier ain't bad. Then we come to Brawl, and we can see a slightly lower placement on the tier list. His moveset was completely altered to be different from Melee to distinguish him from Fox. His Sex Kick Nair was removed and replaced with a multi-hit spin, his forward aerial received a similar treatment, and his Reflector was now kicked out in front of him, and his run and walk speeds were decreased though his airspeed was increased. He now had many characteristics that distinguished him from Fox. Brawl's tech was beneficial to Falco's kit as well. His chain grab combos could lead to early stocks with Dare and good damage output. Dacus offered him potent damage-racking tools with an additional option for Falco in the Gatling combo, as well as a KO option. Despite his slower movement, he was still a high-tier character whose neutral excelled in this game, even though it wasn't as flashy as it was in Melee, and Larry Lurr made some serious waves with him back when Brawl was in its prime. And so we reach the bottom of the stairs where he comes crashing down, going from top tier all the way down to low tier in Smash 4. With very low representation, AC and Keitaro were the only Falco players with results over top players. AC was the only Falco in the top 50 of the PGR, and he played more Meta Knight later on than he did Falco. So, what caused this? His alterations between Brawl and Smash 4 on paper don't appear as though they should be that bad. In sheer numbers, he received more buffs than nerfs. He received higher amounts of damage output, buffs to his dash, which was beneficial thanks to Foxtrot canceling, and better aerial speed. Sounds pretty good, right? Well, the issue is, in spite of all of these buffs, the plethora of other changes that he received really crippled his neutral game. He doesn't have a terribly effective combo game and struggles to get in a lot of times. The removal of Dacus and his down throw chain grabs also made it a lot more challenging for him to rack up damage initially. Many of his attacks receive more frames of landing lag, startup, or active frames, most notably his down aerial, which was a staple of his kit for a long time. He was severely crippled in this iteration of Smash, and it was a little sad seeing how much he struggled in neutral. But brighter days are ahead. Now for Ultimate. Let's take a look, shall we? Ultimate's faster engine, faster pace, and overall improved speed did the same for Falco. The jump squat animation has uniformly been changed from 3 frames from his 6-frame jump squat in Smash 4. His run speed, walk speed, air speed, and traction all received significant increases, meaning his horizontal mobility is now much greater. Though still not being amazing, it's definitely an improvement on his Smash 4 iteration. This by itself bodes for an excellent start to Falco's kit. Mobility is incredibly important in fighting games, and the fact that they've buffed his mobility uniformly over everything is already an excellent change by itself. His vertical mobility is still better than his horizontal, due to his airspeed not being increased that much, meaning that comboing characters vertically and following the opponent's DI is his primary most of the time, and he still retains one of the fastest falling speeds in the game. It does seem ironic to me that, as a bird, he has such low airspeed compared to the rest of the cast, but I can understand that design choice because if he had any more horizontal movement, he'd probably be a really oppressive character due to the potential follow-ups he could have. Due to his aerial capabilities, if his airspeed was higher, he would be able to follow characters far more aggressively and wouldn't need to rely as much on his specials for his recovery. He also does still have the highest jump height in the game, which helps him to hunt down opponents in the air no matter where they are. kind of like an avian predator of some kind. Anyway, directional air dodge means that Falco doesn't always have to rely on his recovery moves in side special and up special to return to stage, especially since both of those moves are pretty telegraphed and offer opponents opportunities to edgeguard Falco. His recovery is hard to mix up due to the linearity of his options and their slow startup, but the directional air dodge offers him some slight additional versatility. Honestly, there isn't that much tech that Falco can use in Ultimate that's beneficial to his kit. In certain games, there has been techniques that will completely define a character's neutral. In Brawl, Falco relied heavily on chain grabs and Dacus to be a threat for both damage output and taking stocks. In Smash 4, characters like Little Mac revolved heavily around the use of perfect pivoting and jump canceling to be effective at a competitive level. In Ultimate, however, there just isn't that much tech that makes or breaks a character's neutral, and this is also the case with Falco, though there are a few that still offer him some additional utility. C-stick macros are essentially just a more efficient way of performing a wave bounce, and can be effectively used for Falco to help with better spacing on his aerial laser or reflector. This essentially acts as a more consistent form of the wave bounce, which allows the characters to reverse their direction of travel, maintain their momentum, and utilize a special in the same direction that they were facing originally. This can be an excellent technique for optimizing aerial laser spacing or reflector spacing, and considering Falco's laser has lower end lag in the air, this can be incredibly useful, though I have yet to see this effectively used in a competitive setting. There's also a technique which utilizes C-stick to fast fall more consistently when performing aerials. By hitting the C-stick either left, right, or up while performing an aerial and holding down on the left stick, your character will immediately fast fall at the first available opportunity. And we'll discuss later that fast falling will be incredibly important for Falco, so this can help to increase a player's consistency. Additionally, thanks to spot dodge canceling, Falco can act as soon as frame 20 out of a spot dodge, which can offer him an opportunity to net huge amounts of damage with one of his main combo starters. These mechanical and engine changes have drastically improved Falco's overall movement in this game. Smash 4 had stripped him of virtually everything that made him viable in Brawl and Melee, and the changes made to him in Ultimate have made leaps and bounds, getting him closer to the combo-heavy fighter that was so enjoyable to see, and on top of that, with patch 8.0.0 dropping recently, Falco has received a slew of excellent buffs, so after a year and a half, Falco looks much better now. Overall, the changes to Falco's attributes in Ultimate alone have greatly improved his mobility and speed. This by itself is an incredibly positive start when observing Falco's overall kit. And we haven't even gotten to the best part yet. Let's next discuss the updates that were made to Falco's moveset. To start off, let's talk about Falco's jab. It's pretty simple, just a standard 1-2 slice and converts into rapid jab. Its second hit has some pretty high end lag, so jab canceling isn't really a good option, though it does have a frame 2 startup, making it one of the fastest neutral attacks in the game, so it can be good for getting out of combos if grounded due to its low startup. This transitions into his rapid jab. His rapid jab is pretty standard fare for the Ultimate. It's a large repeating hitbox directly in front of Falco, and closes into a rapid jab finisher. Falco's dash attack hasn't changed from Smash 4. It hasn't changed much from Melee, really. The knockback angles and percent delt have remained almost identical through all of Falco's iterations. It has an 8-frame startup, so it's a pretty decent burst option. It doesn't have much KO potential, but at mid-percents can lead to aerial follow-ups due to its diagonal knockback trajectory. Now, for Falco's combo start, his tilts. His tilts all have very little startup, decent range, and launch angles. While none of them are safe on shield, universally they are safer than they were in Smash 4. Falco's forward tilt has pretty low startup, but doesn't have a huge amount of combo potential. Its uses are pretty limited since it doesn't have any follow-ups at low percents, though at higher percents causes tumble, which can put the opponent into a tech chase situation. At low percents, it's mostly just used to create some distance between you and your opponent. This is probably one of Falco's lowest used moves, honestly. But that's okay, because his other two tilts make up for it. His up tilt is his bread and butter combo starter. It replicates the effects of his shine in Melee, sending the opponent at an almost perfectly vertical angle. This allows for a vast number of follow-ups at virtually all percents. It has a 5-frame startup and pretty low end lag, making it a quick move with low cooldown and a boatload of utility. The trajectory, knockback, and low end lag are what make this move so threatening, as it combos into every single one of his aerials. Up tilt to neutral air and up tilt to up air are effective damage racking tools and can offer good mix-ups based on your opponent's DI. It can also put opponents into a very heavy juggling position, which Falco excels at. Up tilt into down air can make for some pretty potent pillar combos, try saying that 5 times fast, that can lead to insane amounts of damage. It additionally functions as a kill confirm at higher percents, converting into back aerial, which can kill at pretty early percents near the ledge. This is an excellent move, and its utility on his kit cannot be overstated. The only problem I have with this move is that there is some slight inconsistency in regards to hitting opponents behind you, because if they are hit with the furthest hitbox from Falco's arm on up tilt 1, it can send them downward because this is the linking hitbox. though this is few and far between where this applies, but it's worth noting since you will almost always want to be facing your opponent whenever using this move, especially characters with smaller character models like Pikachu. Lastly, down tilt. Prior to patch 8.0.0, Falco's down tilt was mostly used for its long disjoint to space out opponents and for getting kills at higher percents off the top. Post patch 8.0.0 though, man, things have changed. The move received lower startup time, lower end lag, and a much better launch angle. It now comes out on frame 8, and with lower FAF now has the ability to combo into forward air at lower percents in a chain fashion, which yields a higher damage output. In this clip, I was able to string together 3 down tilted forward airs which the combo counter indicated as true, yielding an over 65% of damage from 0% off of just a single down tilt, though the fast fall timing for this is quite specific. At low percents, it acts as a combo starter, at mid percents, it puts the opponent in a position that is favorable for Falco, allowing for juggle and follow-up setups, and at high percents it kills off the top. This move has gone from good to great thanks to these patch updates, and is now one of Falco's best tools. Largely, his smash attacks have retained most of the properties they had in Smash 4, with some minor adjustments. They have decent frame data and reasonable kill power. Falco's forward smash swings his wings forward in an arcing motion with 4 active frames. It has incredible kill power with a strong hit, and though the late hitbox doesn't kill till much later, it has a large disjointed hitbox that extends a pretty good distance away from Falco. It can also catch ledges, making it effective at punishing a regrab or an opponent that is hanging off the ledge too long. Up smash has had mixed results over Ultimate's lifespan. It's pretty fast for a smash attack coming out on frame 7, making it a decent out of shield option. The primary issue surrounding it has been its terrible horizontal range and inability to connect with grounded opponents or crouching opponents. It does have a decent sized disjoint above him, which allows it to function as an effective anti-aerial. In previous iterations, it had hitboxes that extended all the way to the ground, making it a much more viable option because it connected with characters of all sizes that were directly in front of Falco. I'm unsure as to what prompted this change, since every other iteration of Falco's up smash contained a hitbox that reaches from the floor upward. This makes it incredibly challenging for Falco to hit characters that don't have large hurtboxes or are tall with up smash, especially characters that have the ability to pancake or have an incredibly low crouch such as Pikachu, Game & Watch, or Sheik. A common argument that I hear as justification for this is that the move is an anti-aerial and does not need to connect with grounded opponents. However, most up smashes tend to have lower hitboxes that link and connect into the final upward hitbox, and don't serve as purely an anti-aerial attack, especially since up smash out of shield is such a common option in Ultimate, so this point doesn't really hold water in my opinion. In patch 8.0.0, the move received some buffs, primarily improving the knockback scaling, which does improve its kill power, and connectivity capabilities of the first hit into the second, with an additional larger hitbox at the apex of the move. This is a beneficial change, though it does not resolve the issue created by the lack of a lower hitbox. Additionally, Fast Fall Fair can combo into up smash at kill percents, though this will only apply to characters whose models are large enough to be hit by the move. Down smash yields 2 hitboxes on either side of Falco as he descends into the splits. It has slightly more intangibility and slightly more startup than in Smash 4. It comes out pretty quick on frame 8 and is decent for catching opponents at ledge, though does tend to have a rather poor range. It's also a follow-up to Fast Fall Forward Air, which could kill at ledge at later percents. It's also useful for catching opponents' rolls, so it's got utility, just not a huge amount. And now for the part of Falco's kit that offers him such good pressure and conversions. Leading off is his forward aerial. His fair is a multi-hit spin with his beak that has a deceptive landing hitbox which will frequently catch people dropping shield too early or perform a shield poke if their shield is damaged. This move is an excellent all-around tool. It's good at edge guarding due to its long duration and active frames, it can kill at later percents, and can kill at early percents if you're going out far enough for an edge guard. Since it's a multi-hit, you can do drag downs with it, allowing for conversions into some of his grounded options such as down tilt, up smash, or down smash for example. His forward air is an incredibly useful tool for Falco in many situations and acts well as both a combo starter as well as a combo finisher. Up air is probably Falco's best juggling tool. It's really fast coming out at frame 7 and offering Falco some excellent bridges that allow him to convert his up air into itself. Depending on the opponent's DI, it can also convert into fair or bear. It combos out of up throw, up tilt, or dare at high percents. When a move like this is combined with Falco's excellent jump height, it makes him very adept at catching opponents trying to land, and it's not uncommon to hit an opponent up near the blast zone and having the aerial speed to jump all the way up there and clip them with an up air for a stock. Back air is one of Falco's primary kill moves. It was actually nerfed between Smash 4 and Ultimate, with an increased startup time and a later auto-cancel window, though it does still auto-cancel out of a short hop. It's hard to hit opponents with rising back air since it comes out later than it did, but that doesn't hinder the move terribly. It's an excellent follow-up move at any percent, and the knockback is almost perfectly horizontal. It combos out of up throw or up tilt, which is one of his primary kill confirms, so it's a good idea to be aware of the percent ranges your opponent needs to be at for the kill confirms to work. And it does have a late hit, however that will KO much later than the clean hit. Next is neutral air. It's a multi-hit spin with the final hitbox sending the opponent forward. Nair is Falco's fastest aerial, coming out at frame 3. This gives it the potential to break combos with a few frame gaps since it's quick, and also makes for a decent out of shield option, though it's primarily only on taller characters. Nair has amazing amounts of utility and combo potential. Falco's drag down Nair is one of his best setup options for starting combos, and Nair can also be a follow-up during combos out of up tilt, up throw, down tilt, and more. It's good for edge guarding as well in a similar fashion to forward air due to its high amount of active frames, and is a great move for applying pressure. The drag down loops that you can do with this move are really advantageous too if you can get the fast fall timing right, and act as a massive combo extender for Falco when he's in advantage. Up tilt into up air into falling Nair onto platforms are one of the reasons that stages like Battlefield are so good for Falco, since he can control space and link his moves so well into one another by resetting them on platforms. This is most definitely my favorite move on Falco's kit. Down air has been a core piece of Falco's kit since Melee, destroying thousands of stocks and being one of the most enjoyable and satisfying moves to successfully land and to see land in tournament. In Smash 4, this move was severely crippled with lower startup and a higher end lag than Brawl, and a worse auto-cancel window. In Ultimate, however, this has been vastly improved upon. Startup is lower, auto-cancel window is earlier, end lag is lower, and after the updates in patch 8.0.0, his FAF has been reduced again, along with his landing lag. With these changes, you're now able to perform a buffered full hop dare and then perform any of his other aerials before hitting the ground, which offers excellent mix-up utility for Falco. This has been referred to as dare loading and is covered in greater detail by the meta of Smash. Down air has combo potential at virtually all percents, at low percents leading into decent damage off of conversions into up tilt or other aerials, being able to combo into any other aerial at various percents. And at higher percents can lead into up air, back air, forward air, or even combo into itself near ledge for early kills. This move has been an integral piece of Falco's moveset since its addition to the Smash roster, and it is fantastic to see the move restored to its former glory after being butchered so badly in Smash 4. Next are his specials. Neutral Special is his signature laser. Falco's Neutral Special is a great pressuring tool for forcing opponents to approach. It has a slightly lower end lag when performed in air versus on the ground, and is pretty good at sniping opponents' jumps whenever they're recovering, and is always useful to fire off stage whenever your opponent is out there to steal their jump. Falco's pressure with laser can be an incredibly useful tool, and considering it's much safer for Falco to punish an opponent than doing the approaching himself, this is really useful for him. His laser also has the ability to lock opponents as well, which can be good at mixing up if they miss a tech on a platform. The Falco Phantasm. Prior to patch 8.0.0, this move was really only useful as a recovery move due to the active hitbox frames on it being so low, but after the updates from 8.0.0, this has been greatly improved, offering active frames that cover much more of the move's duration during its travel time. This move hits the opponent almost completely vertically, so depending on Falco's remaining travel distance after he hits them, he has the ability to lead into aerial follow-ups or even KO follow-ups if the opponent is at high percents. Additionally, if the opponent is airborne when Falco hits it, then it acts as a spike and sends them straight down. This does present some risk for them in edgeguarding this move, and the 8.0.0 buffs definitely have increased its threat range due to the increased active frames. Its utility is much better now thanks to these changes. Next is Firebird. This move is almost exclusively used for Falco's recovery since it's got such a high startup and end lag. Distance-wise it's good because you can come back from pretty low. It doesn't have the best angles when recovering, and during the initial startup of the move your momentum is retained, so this can sometimes mess up recovering. Due to its startup, it makes it pretty susceptible to edgeguarding off stage, and overall it's just an alright move. The Frame 1 Reflector. Falco kicks out his reflector in front of him, which yields both a hitbox as well as a reflector hitbox. It's worth noting that the hitbox size is much smaller than that of the reflector portion, so be sure whenever you're using this that you're hitting with the center of the reflector if you're trying to use the hitbox portion. The reflector itself is active on frame 1, and the hitbox on it doesn't come out until frame 5. It's an incredibly fast option and still really good despite not being able to hold it indefinitely the way that Fox or Wolf can. It's good at covering a ledge drop, jump back onto stage, and prevents heavily projectile-based opponents from camping Falco out. It's also capable of locking or causing the opponent to slip from a platform, resulting in a pratfall or a get-up option. This can be situational, but knowing these setups can definitely offer Falco some niche utility whenever dealing with platforms. Falco has some pretty solid combos out of his throws, and all of his grab variations in standing, dash, and pivot have lower startup time than they did in Smash 4, though standing and dash grabs do have more FAF. His up throw converts into all of his aerials in a similar fashion to his up tilt because the knockback angle sustained by both is very similar, and up throw up air or up throw back air can serve as viable kill options at later percents. His down throw is decent at converting into some of his tilts or aerials and can lead into big damage with either fast fall forward air, follow up, or going straight into an up tilt at lower percents. Forward throw and back throw have less utility and are primarily used for spacing or to gain stage control by tossing your opponents off stage. His up throw and back throw also have a laser that's shot after the initial throw that connects at lower percents. At higher percents, this laser is avoidable if DI'd correctly, which completely removes the kill power of his back throw. The fact that this is possible has been a complaint for a while from Falco mains, considering back throw is supposed to be his kill throw, and with up throw this makes follow-ups less consistent. However, this is a minor issue overall. He has a pretty good follow-up game off of his grabs, and these offer some good mix-up opportunities for Falco in neutral, which I'll discuss further in the next section. Lastly, his out-of-shield options aren't the best. His up smash is the fastest option, but it's very matchup dependent and based on the opponent's size. I've had multiple instances where I can't punish even average-sized characters performing an unsafe aerial on my shield because their hurt box shifts too low upon landing. He also has neutral air, forward or back air, or grab. Most of his attack options have issue hitting smaller characters, but he has a decent out-of-shield grab and gets good follow-ups off of it, so it's probably one of your better options. In conclusion, Falco is leaps and bounds ahead of where he was in Smash 4. He's certainly nowhere near as oppressive as his melee iteration or as much of a tech-based character as he was in Brawl, but his current state is a character with excellent combo potential and a plethora of creative options to delve into. The engine changes and alterations to his character attributes have proven to be beneficial for Falco, as his mobility in most categories has been improved and very little of the tech from Smash 4 provided him with useful options to utilize it. The reliance on tech like wave dashing or Dacus has been greatly reduced, and a stronger emphasis has been placed upon improving the character's toolkit to further enhance their neutral without the need for highly advanced techniques. I think that that's kind of how Ultimate has been approached in general, really, and what makes it so accessible. Thanks to his increased speed and mobility and lower startup time and FAF on a lot of his moves, he has been significantly buffed. Several of his tilts have lower startup time, affording him the opportunity for quick combo starters that have relatively low end lag for what they do. These transition into his aerial prowess, which is incredibly efficient at juggling and keeping opponents in disadvantage. His combo game and advantage state is a thing of beauty, really, and thanks to his buffs in patch 8.0.0, he's become a much more viable character, with the significant buffs to his down air, down tilt, and up smash. Falco's neutral game revolves around getting in at an opportune moment and capitalizing on his quick, low knockback attacks to rack up large amounts of percent on your opponent through aerial follow-ups and combos. It is incredibly important to get conversions with Falco, and to optimally make the most out of your combo game and squeeze as much percent out of a string as you can, while ensuring you aren't overextending or getting lost in the sauce, and trust me, that's really easy to do. Falco's difficulty getting in sometimes is what makes these conversions so important, because the more conversions in your combos you get, the lower amount of times you'll need to win in neutral to get to your win condition, and that's where his laser comes in to apply pressure and force an opponent to approach. Once he gets an opponent in the air, with any of his low percent combo options, which could include up tilt, down tilt, up throw, down throw, forward air, etc., he truly excels at juggling and keeping opponents in the air, and gives larger characters an incredibly hard time dealing with his oppressive combo game. It's difficult to list all of the potential combos that you can get with this character, because there are just so many options that you could get off of any of his hits, and they all convert at different percents. Any stray hit that he has can lead into something else. He has combos off of his grabs, he has combos off of his aerials, and he has combos off of his aerials that all lead to staggering amounts of damage opportunities. His aerials lead into his tilts or grabs, his tilts lead into his aerials or grabs, and his grabs lead into his tilts or aerials. Down throw can lead into a fast fall forward air, which can lead into an up tilt, or a down tilt, or a grab, which can lead into another forward air, or an up air, or a back air. So many of his moves lead into one thing or another, and can often reset neutral on themselves to start his combos all over again. And I think that that's what makes him such a fun and interesting character, is that his entire moveset flows seamlessly into itself. The ability to combo shifts like liquid at any given moment, and converting from one hit to another is a transition that makes the character feel incredibly smooth to play and satisfying to be successful with. But the key is knowing when to slow down. You can't force your way in. You have to be patient and wait for an opening for a punish opportunity, get the damage you can reliably get, and reset and do it again. The combo strings are the most unique thing about Falco to me. For example, out of an up tilt at mid percents, you can convert into down air, neutral air, forward air, or a back air, and each of his aerials send the opponent in different directions, and offer the opportunity for DI mix-ups. Almost all of his moves combo into each other in certain situations. Down air combos into all of his aerials as well at varying percents, even comboing into itself, offering the opportunity to get one of my favorite stock finishers in the entire game. The advantages of each of his aerial conversions vary based on the character's stage position, weight, recovery options, or whether you want to continue seeking a further follow-up or to maximize knockback to put the opponent in a disadvantageous situation. This makes Falco's combo game incredibly versatile and adaptable to the opponent's movement, DI, and characteristics. His toolkit enables him to effectively punish characters with large amounts of percent. He does have some trouble killing considering how challenging it is for him to get in regularly on his opponents, so whenever he's forced to be the aggressor he can have a bit of trouble. This becomes incredibly difficult if your opponent lives past his up tilt or up throw kill confirm percents. He doesn't have very many good kill confirm options, honestly. The primary ones are going to be his down tilt, back air, and smash attacks. Down air of course too if you're going for an edge guard. If he had a more effective kill option or a more consistent time killing, I think he'd be absolutely insane. His combo game can shatter an opponent's stocks, getting him into upper percents really fast. His disadvantage also isn't the best. Sometimes his frame 3 nair can get him out of it, but that's not consistent. When in disadvantage, he has a pretty rough time getting out of it, and mitigating the amount of neutral losses you have is really important. And since his recovery is so susceptible to edge guarding due to its linearity, mixing up your options for it are essential to being able to recover safely. He additionally can get comboed pretty hard due to his fast falling speed, which can make things very difficult for him whenever he's dealing with some of the characters with great advantage states in the game like Joker or Pikachu. He gets rocked pretty hard by that sometimes since he doesn't have a get out of disadvantage free card like some of the other characters. He has a very polarizing advantage and disadvantage state, with his diverse combo game just absolutely plowing through opponents is possible, but if you get put into disadvantage and you can't get in, you're gonna have a rough time. I think Falco is in a really good spot, despite his difficulties in neutral and in disadvantage. I think really the primary change I'd make would be restoring his previous hitbox on up smash from the previous titles, to allow it to hit grounded or shorter opponents in a consistent basis, but I'm not one to look a gift horse in the mouth and neglect to appreciate the buffs that he's already received. That's just one thing I think needs to be fixed. Additionally, I'd maybe give him a better tool while in disadvantage to handle it, whether that be a faster startup on recovery moves, better airspeed, just something that would help him a little and maybe give him a more consistent kill option to boot. I started playing Falco right after the game came out, and while I still consider myself a little Mac main, Falco has made me feel as though I could be successful with another character, so I use him a lot now. He's an incredibly fun and diverse character to use that offers a lot of creative freedom with his combo game and movement. I know that a lot of people have started playing him since the buffs, and I hope that people continue to do so, because he's a really fun character to learn. In Ultimate, Falco has had new life breathed into him, and it feels like the spirit of the character has been returned. His design lends credence towards a high-octane, heavy combo character, and in Ultimate, that's integral to his core gameplay. Plenty of people have seen success with him since Ultimate's release. Larry Lurr, Juice, Coffee, and Jackster, for example, have seen notable placements with him and victories over several top players, showing how viable he can truly be. I think we still have more to see from Falco, and the potential that he has to do some insane things. So, keep your eyes on the skies, and let's see how high this bird can fly. I know that this review isn't perfect, and if I've left anything out, please let me know in the comments and I'll make a follow-up video for anything that I've missed. Once again, I'm Cobalt, and thanks for watching.